100 Kenyan shillings, less than $1. For some, that might feel like pocket change. For others, especially in today's economy, it's a meaningful amount. But in the coastal town of Malindi, this little note will take you very far. Today, I'm going to show you how 100 shillings opens the door to some of Kenya's richest history, and even a connection to one of the world's most legendary explorers, Vasco da Gama himself. Let's go on a time-traveling, budget-friendly tour of Malindi's top historical sites, all accessible with just one single museum ticket. Let's dive in. Our first stop is the Vasco da Gama Pillar, one of the oldest European monuments in Africa. It was first built in 1498 by the Portuguese explorer himself during his groundbreaking voyage to India. Vasco da Gama and his fleet left Portugal on the 8th of July 1497 and eventually arrived in Malindi on Easter Sunday, April 15, 1498. They were warmly welcomed by the Sultan and offered food and fresh water. Impressed by the 9-day hospitality, Vasco da Gama returned on his way back to Portugal in 1499. That's when the Sultan allowed his men to erect a limestone cross on a hill near the port, but it was later moved to its current site. This was a navigation marker and a sign of friendship between two distant worlds. In 1973, a concrete cone was built around it to protect it from erosion. But the original Portuguese limestone cross is still standing tall at the top. The pillar was declared a national monument in 1935 and is currently under the National Museums of Kenya. As part of restoration measures, the once sandy access road has been paved.
In the seawall to prevent the monument from collapsing, part of works have gone into doing parapet walls, an ablution block, and a pavement to enable people with disabilities to access the monument and to add to our visitor comfort.
For the next 100 years.
Just a short walk away is the Portuguese chapel. This chapel was built in the early 1500s by Portuguese soldiers left behind by Vasco da Gama's voyage. At the time, Malindi was already a major Islamic town with over 17 mosques, so the Portuguese presence in this small chapel was quite significant. This tiny modest structure is believed to be the oldest Christian church in East Africa, and it holds a very special story. In 1542, Francis Xavier, a missionary and now a Catholic saint, stopped here to bury a sailor in the chapel graveyard.
Huyu ni missionary ambaye anaitwa St. Francis Xavier, alivisit Malindi 1542. Aim yake kubwa ilikuwa ku spread the word of God, especially in Africa and also in Asia.
The Portuguese chapel was declared a gazetted monument in 1935 and has since been restored by the Malindi Museum Society and the Kenya Horticultural Society. It is a small, quiet, and deeply spiritual site, a true hidden gem tucked right in the heart of Malindi. Next up, we have the House of Columns. This striking white building has worn many hats. It was once a trading post, a hospital, the first fisheries office, and today it's home to Malindi's first museum with exhibition space on the ground floor and the Webb Memorial Library and Resource Center upstairs. Now, you may be wondering why the name House of Columns. When this historical building was handed over to the National Museums of Kenya, it was renamed House of Columns due to the thick columns at the front which support the upper floors. The vibe here is both historic and educational. Just a few minutes away is the Malindi Heritage Complex, the newer complex of the museum. In 2013, Malindi Museum acquired a second set of buildings, the former offices of the District Commissioner, now known as Malindi Museum Heritage Complex. This spot dives even deeper into the Swahili and Arab coastal history, featuring traditional crafts, ancient tools, and beautifully carved wooden totems. If you love cultural stories, this stop is a must. It connects you with the soul of the Kenyan coast. And now to the best part. All 4 of these sites are accessible with just one ticket that costs 100 Kenyan shillings for Kenyan citizens. That's less than a cup of coffee, but it gets you access to centuries of global exploration, local heritage, and incredible coastal views. So the next time you're in Malindi and wondering what to do with just a little pocket change, skip the snacks and go experience 500 plus years of history. You'll live with stories worth far more than 100 Kenyan shillings. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, memories last forever. So go out there and make them.